We've all encountered failure at one capacity or another, probably several times, and probably many, many more times. And we've always made the same two choices. Choice number one, give up. Turn your back on whatever it is that you were doing. Call it quits, I'm done. Or number two, persist and see what happens. Today, I'd like to talk to you through personal experience and what I've learned to encourage you to choose persisting more often. And I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I mean, it's hard. Doing things that are worth it are hard. Doing anything is hard, really. Sitting on your butt all day, that's hard. That's hard because it doesn't feel good. You feel like you want to throw up after a certain point. Your skincare isn't where it needs to be. You don't want to move. You don't want to do anything, even though you know you need to. That's hard. Likewise, running a marathon is hard. It's a different kind of hard. You just get to choose what your heart is going to be every single day. And I want to stress the fact that when you quit halfway, when you work on something you're truly passionate about, and you just stop, even if you're not passionate about it, shit. It could be computer programming, right? You could be some person in finance and you need to know enough code for this program for work. And it's just killing you. It's beating you up. And then you say, I'm done. Well, then what's the trade-off? The trade-off is that now you're underachieving at work, right? Your peers are using whatever this program is to get ahead. And you're kind of like trying to pick up the pieces, doing the work in other ways, trying to find ways around it, struggling. And while I understand it's hard, we have to push through that hard sometimes because success is on the other end of hard. And how much hard you're willing to take, is ultimately going to determine how successful you're going to be, or even past success, your outcomes, because it's not all about success either. You know, we want best for ourselves. We want best for what we deem important in our lives. And there's just no way to get there without persisting, you know? And that's why I want you to lean into failure. Failure is a part of life. It is. Going back to examples, you know, first time I picked up my saxophone, I was horrible. I was horrible. And there's just no sugarcoating that. I mean, it was bad. Like, you know, when your parents pull out the phone, whatever, record that first video. When we look back at that video, they have to be gritting their teeth because, like, this is where my lashes money went. It's like that. That's the start. That's how it goes. But give it some time, you know, in the practice room. Still learning how to play G, A, B, C, whatever, my scales. Going from that to putting it together in a song, even if the song was hot cross buns. And then going from that to, well, what's the next step? Like, more scales. It's scales. More songs, more scales. Music theory. And then eventually, you can put it together in more advanced ways, you know? And it's a recognition thing. And it becomes easier to learn different songs. And then some might say you're impressive, even though you know it's a constant trial, you know? Constantly pushing to the next musical goal. That's essentially the same with anything, any skill really. Because even if you want to go into like communications, for example, communications is a pretty big soft skill where you talk to people every day, and through those conversations you learn how to interact with certain people. You learn what things to say in this situation, what things not to say, and your social battery will get exhausted. I am not naturally an extroverted person, and so building that social foundation was harder for me than maybe some other people. But all the same, regardless of if it came to you more naturally, to get to a certain level of excellence, you are going to go through the hard. And a natural part of going through that is failure. You will fail. You will fail. There will be times where you say something absolutely embarrassing. You misread a social cue at a birthday party and say, oh my gosh, shoot, what would you say at a birthday party? Misread social cue. I don't really want to be here. Something to that effect. Trying to act cool or tough. Oh yeah, we remember the early days when we said something that we completely just thought was cool or tough and nobody interpreted it that way. Stuff like that. We will fail. It's part of life. And it's nothing to be afraid of. Well, that's a lie. That's a lie. There are times where, it's gonna be scary. It's gonna be scary. You get up public speaking or something like that and you make a flub in front of like 100 people. That's scary. That's something to be afraid of. No sugarcoating it, but at the same time, it's worth it. It's worth it. And pushing through fear is bravery. You become better in all respects from pushing through the hard. But just think about the alternative, Alternative is you don't get what you want. You resent yourself for not putting in the effort, or you accept a level of mediocrity that you can never quite live with. And maybe your belief system changes to fit whatever it is that you're willing to output. Maybe that looks like living on the side of the road. Extreme statement, but maybe it just looks like working a job you don't like every single day. But you earn in life, And whatever it is that you, give up on, that extra 10%, 20%, 30% here, there, wherever, whatever you turn your back on is what you don't get later down the line. And these skills that we build, these connections that we make, are not one-off things. They're not like constant returns. They are like, they multiply, Like economies of scale, to use an economic term. You get more and more back. So it's important. I can't stress how important this is. It's very important to fail. And so I want to stress again that you will fail. You will fail. Just period. Whatever you do. Even if you're comfortable with where you are in life. Even if you are like doing the same couple of things over and over. You will make mistakes. But the difference is the mistakes that you choose to make will either build you up or break you down. Right? If you choose to work in the same dead-end job every single day, yeah, you'll make a couple mistakes, but you'll get pretty freaking good at it. That doesn't mean you'll like where you're at. Versus, okay, if you do a little bit of research into maybe entrepreneurship or like remote jobs that would suit your schedule a little bit more, free you up some more time. That's hard because you're moving to a completely different space. You've never dealt with any of this before. It's gonna suck because you have to ask the questions, you gotta watch the YouTube videos, you don't even really know if it's gonna work, and yet you take the leap of faith. Obviously, maybe you don't land your first new job. The first business almost never succeeds. And yet you keep persistent. And with enough input, with enough work, with enough deliberate effort towards what you want, enough failure, you will eventually get better. You will eventually get closer to what you want. And then you will eventually get what you want. There is no way possible, if you continue and put all your effort into something, that you will not get what you want. There's just no way. It doesn't make sense. Think about it. If I spent all my energy every day into making YouTube videos like this, every single day, even if I got one viewer a day for 3 years, I would eventually hit at least 100 subscribers. If I did that again for another 10 years, think of how many more subscribers, just because of how long I've been around. And this is just, an example, but like, think about that one thing in your life that you've been putting off, that seems really hard, that you don't know if you can do it, or you've just been talking yourself out of it. And I just want you to just think about, if I really did put in this effort, if I really did work for this, if I really did choose this thing, how is it possible that I don't get it? Just try to reframe it in your head, because we get in our head a lot of the times. It's really easy to do. I'm an overthinker by nature, so I get it. But that's when you have to get outside of yourself. That's when you have to do the input, do the work. Do the work. Because that work is going to bring you closer to whatever it is you truly desire. And I mean that. You can get what you want, and you will get what you want if you work for it. And if you're willing to embrace failure, willing to embrace the things that don't feel as good, but knowing that you can do it. You can hold it out, you can persist, and you'll find that you start to move differently than other people in your life because they've accepted a certain level of work, a certain level of effort, you know? They're only willing to fail X amount of times, but not really. Not all the time. Not on this day. Oh, I don't work like that. I don't do that. I'm not comfortable with that. And okay. But that's their limit. We're talking about you. What do you want? What's so important that you would be a little uncomfortable now for those returns later? Really think about that as I leave you with this. You will get what you want in your life. You will. But you have to work for it. You have to embrace the failure. You have to. If this video brought you anything, any insightful information, helped you in any way, please consider subscribing. I will be very open about posting more videos, getting more content out. I really do want this to become a community. I do. Yeah, that's all I got. I'll see y'all.